Okay, hi everyone, it's Guangjun here again, and today is week 3 of the circuit breaker. And earlier this week, our Prime Minister just announced the extension of circuit breaker by another 4 weeks. So that puts us at roughly about 5.5 weeks more. And as you guys know, we made about 40 of the home study kits before circuit breaker started, and we intended to distribute those during the 4 weeks that we are not allowed to go back to the workshop. And as of today, we just ran out of stock. We just sold the last 3 kits today, and that has been great for us. But of course, we did not expect that we would run out so early and that we would need to have preparations for another 4 weeks. So today I am here to show you guys a little surprise from us, which is something that we intended to launch after circuit breaker as another possible addition to the home study and home use equipment. And we had to bring forward that one more time so that we can continue teaching from home. So today I'll be covering with you guys the Stump Vise. Okay, so it's called a Stump Vise because it's basically a stump that behaves like a vise. And on top of that, we have had a lot of trials and also feedback from the students regarding the kit, and we have gone ahead and upgraded some of the equipment and provided some new and better performing saws and chisels so that it will give you a better experience. Of course, once again, we're not sure if the kit that you see here will be exactly what you receive, but it will be in the rough essence. You might have a different color or a different size, slightly different sizes, but what you see today in the video would be the kind of like the version 2 of the kit update. And another thing you will notice is that the Stump Vise is significantly simpler than the original hold-fast bench, which means that we are able to offer it at a lower price. And what we have done with that is we have actually used the extra budget to include even more equipment and better performing tools for the full kit option that you can choose. So I'm going to go ahead and cover the equipment right now. I want to show you guys how to use the Stump Vise and also some of the things that you will find in this kit that weren't in the previous kit. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so this is some of the kit upgrade that we have here. Okay, I'm going to reach out for your hacksaw first. So we decided to swap out to a hacksaw because the hacksaw is a bit more appropriate for joinery, and besides that, we got a really good price on the Lennox hacksaw, which performs so amazingly. And also having a hacksaw means that the blade is replaceable, which means that you can actually swap out the blades when it gets blunt, so you don't that puts your cost for replacement at about $1.80 to $2 each time. Okay, and this is also a bimetal saw blade, so it's going to last you really long, so you probably don't even need to replace it that often to begin with. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate the capability of the saw now. So you can see this is actually part of the wedge vise, the Stump Vise. So you can see the board goes in here. It's just a slot in the wood, and then we put the wedge in. Let's give it a little tap there, and it's going to lock the piece nicely there. You can still adjust the depth of the board if you want, and then you can increase the tightness of. Okay, so I'm going to start cutting. So one thing you will note is that this Stump Vise has actually a block of plywood underneath, and what this does is it gives you some space for your feet to step on and hug the vise as you're going. So sorry if my feet look ugly, but you're gonna have to see my feet in this video. Okay, so you're just gonna tuck your leg. Let me point that out. Okay, just put your leg across it like that. Okay, and then your other leg can probably go on the front like that. So this is more like a traditional kind of Japanese style woodworking where you pretty much have yourself working on the floor and everything is kind of tight to your body. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to cut now with this. Okay, perfect cuts. And then the next saw that is included in the kit would be your coping saw, and this coping saw is used as a inside cutout saw, and it allows you to cut across the dovetail like this. And this will also be something that will be used for a lot of Sarah's classes, where she'll be teaching you like spoon making and all that. Anytime you need to cut curves on a very narrow portion of wood, this will be very useful. This will also come with a few different kinds of blades so that you can cut different thicknesses and operations. Okay, so that's that. Gonna pull that out. Oh yeah, before I shift away from this, right? So another interesting feature of this bench is that you can actually turn the entire bench. So suppose you were cutting it this way, you wanted to rotate the piece, right? There's no need for you to unvise the whole thing. You can actually just rotate the vise itself. Okay, so really neat concept. You can rotate it. And once it's rotated, you would see that the slot actually extends all the way here. So if you wanted something that, if you were cutting something that was a bit larger and a bit wider, then it would be great. This is another good option for wedging. It'll give you a very robust slot position right there. Okay, of course this is really up to you how you're going to use this. I love the concept because the entire thing is made of wood, which means that you don't really have to use it the way I intended it. You can just play around with it all you want. And then the next feature is this side, which is a complete flat stump face. And this stump face is actually end grain. So end grain allows you to pierce your chisels right into the surface there, and that's not going to damage your chisel and it's going to make this face extremely robust for chopping work. So if you wanted to do some dovetail cutouts, any kind of joinery punching through, then this will be a great option for you. If you're looking to chop through any material and you didn't want the chisel to damage the table, then this will be a great surface for you. Okay, and yep, right there. Okay, so now the question, you guys must be wondering, okay, how do we vise long straight objects for cutting tenons and such? And now I'm going to show you guys how that is done. Okay, so this top portion here, this is actually both your chisel stop and also your sideway vise. And the way to use it as a chisel stop is if you had a piece like this that you wanted to work on, then you could actually just lean it like that, and you could pair the material in any way that you wanted. Okay, both for carving and also for maybe some kind of joinery adjustment or any kind of end grain pairing that you need to do. All that can be done on this chisel stop here. So very handy for that. Next up is wedging and clamping narrow pieces. So if you had a piece of wood like this that you needed to cut a tenon on or something, or just maybe do a simple cross cut on, then you would find that the chisel stop is very useful for you. And if you just put this across like that, oh yeah, and this is a combination wedge. Okay, so you can make this. I'll put a video on how you can make this, and you could use it even if you don't have a stump vise. Okay, so something like this very useful. It basically has wedge positions from narrow to wider, and then from wider to even wider. And this is going to allow you to wedge a couple of different sizes of items against something like this, which is kind of like a very rudimentary vise, but it works extremely well. So suppose you wanted to cut the white piece here, okay, so this little bit of maple here, okay, you just take your vise, take your wedge, and you just wedge it in like that. Okay, if it's not tight enough, you can always give it a little tap with the hammer, but usually that is not really necessary. And now I'm going to show you how to cut with that. I'm just going to do a little cross cut here with the saw. Okay. Okay, extremely easy and a stable position, and this will allow you to cut all your tenons and sliding dovetails and little joints in that category. Okay, and that's pretty much it for general introduction. I hope this was enough for you to understand the functions of this. Of course, the stump vise is extremely modifiable. There are many ways that you can use this piece of equipment and modify it. You could cut recesses into it and create little modifications that would be useful for carving or for other kinds of joinery that you'll be using. Okay, and if you're wondering what are the kinds of things that you can do with this, then one of the ideas that I have is a tissue box. So tissue box is kind of the perfect sized item for something like this, and it fits just nicely on the stump and will not give you too much trouble. And the length of this backboard here is about 400 mm, so you could actually make rather large pieces of items. For example, like a spindle stool or any shaker stool, short stool would be something that you can do on this. If you're a little bit more experienced, you can actually also make full pieces of furniture on this, but I would say that it is maybe a bit more difficult. At the same time, you could also, this is also designed for you to mount on an existing table. So you can see if you put it in this direction, then you can actually mount the plywood base onto your table by screwing it on, or if you just clamp it on, that will work also. So all in all, I think this is really exciting for me. I've been planning this for over a month now, and just thinking about how to create a simple workbench that would require very low cost materials. In this case, this is actually salvaged material from a local land clearing effort. So this is not new wood, this is completely old material here that we are using, and these trees will be burnt or popped if we don't use it. So this is one great way to utilize waste wood. And another benefit of using a stump like this is that it is extremely quiet. So you can see, right, in the combination with a rubber mallet is extremely dull. The sounds of the piece of equipment is extremely dull. You're not going to get the loud snap that you would normally have on a thinner workbench. So this would help you absorb a lot of the impact of your material, your chisel work when you're working at home. Okay, so I hope you guys like it, and we will be releasing the pricing information soon, so do look at our website. And oh yeah, one last question. You guys might think that this is a little bit small, and it is true. And this is meant to be something that was designed for spoon making, tissue box making, small box making, small drawer making. It is not designed as like the be all end all to all woodworking options. So for that, we actually will be releasing, we have a larger version of this that I didn't bring home, and that is the bench Stump Vise XL, and it is roughly about 4 times the size of this. So it's a log that is about twice as wide and twice as long, and it is made to be a much significantly larger version of this, and that will allow you to do every single class that we are going to introduce, and it would be roughly in the same category as the whole fast bench in terms of function. and we are still developing the system now, so definitely we'll be able to mount a lot of the options that you currently have on the holdfast bench onto this also. You can quite easily see how this could be converted into a holdfast bench. So we're really looking forward to that update. So yep, go ahead and grab this kit first. Trust me, you will not regret it. This is really the most adorable and most functional bit of holding equipment that you could use. And also the assortment of tools that we have prepared this time, it is significantly better than the previous kit, and you'll definitely have a lot better result at home with the new kit, the version 2 of this. Okay, so I'll see you guys soon, and don't forget to subscribe so that we can keep in touch and you stay updated with all our latest videos and happenings. Alright, okay, see you guys, bye bye.